A very warm welcome to you. Many thanks for joining us on this week's edition of the program. We are your one-stop shop for all the latest happening in the world of business in general and insurance in particular. I am Susan Obiako. You are warmly welcome. On this edition of the program, we'll bring you a special tribute of late Mr. Isreal Chinwuba Ogbue, who was company secretary, Nikon Insurance Corporation from 1970 to 1988. He recently passed at a good old age of 99. Faith had an exclusive interview session with him last year on the CEO Rendezvous, where he spoke on managing public enterprises in Nigeria, Nikon Insurance Corporation in focus. In that interview, Sir Ogbue said that the government at the time should have left Nikon Insurance Corporation and Nigeria Re from the hammer of privatization and allowed them to continue with better management. Let's hear him.
Maybe they would have left Nikon the way it was, and whatever you get belongs to government, you know. But the change of ownership has spelled real doom on the organization.
Sir Ogbue, no doubt, was among those who gave their role to the service of Nikon and by extension, Nigeria. He will be greatly missed. Happy viewing.
A very warm welcome to you. It's a pleasure to have you on set on the CEO Rendezvous this week. This is one of those rare occasions where, as a journalist, you feel very, very blessed. Why did I say that? I'm hosting today the one and only Sir I.C. Ogbue, who was the company secretary of Nikon, Africa's Pride, from 1970 to 1988. Together today, we'll be looking at managing public enterprises in Nigeria. In focus is Nikon, and I have the rare honor and privilege to be sitting in his presence. Thank you so very much, Sir Ogbue. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much. Okay, now let me start by asking. Once I'm privileged to see the older generation people, I always like to ask them, what's the secret to longevity? Because here you are at 98, you're still able to move around without walking stick, and you still remember so many things from way back. What's the secret?
Well, I don't know what might have been responsible for this, but I give honor and glory to the Almighty God, who had made it possible. Otherwise, there's nothing special about me, except that when I say whenever I do it with moderation. I don't belong to a group of people who say, "Oh, I must get this, I must get that." I will call on my God and request for whatever I think I need, provided it is His wish. And that's all. I've always done things with some element of moderation. Yeah.
So I think moderation, that's the watchword for the younger generation. Anything you do, moderation. Okay, sir, let's look at the topic of today. As I said, Nikon Insurance was not just the pride of Nigeria, but was the pride of Africa.
Yes.
In the 70s.
Indeed.
In the 80s. When exactly did you join Nikon Insurance?
I saw an advert in the papers, and I applied. That was 1969. And surprisingly, it was during the war anyway, during the Civil War. And I got a letter inviting me for interview. This was in 69. I think around August, September or so. I think August, yeah. And when I got there, I saw quite a number of people for the same interview. And I happened to know that we were 11 invited for the interview for the post of secretary to the corporation. And when I was invited to meet the panel, I think I did my little bit, answered the questions the way I knew. And at a stage, there was a question I answered, and the chairman of the Statutory Corporation Service Commission said that it couldn't be right. And then I said, I'm sorry, sir, if records are still available, they'll prove me right. And the chairman of the Statutory Corporation Service Commission happens to be Ambassador Ade Martins. Oh. He had worked in that department before as the Deputy Director of the Department of Marketing and Exports. And I left. Surprisingly, this was during the week we had the interview. And on Sunday morning, I think I'd been to church service, came back, and somebody by name Mr. Davis came and knocked at my door. I was living at number 3 Onisimo Street, Surulere. Said he wanted to see me. I said, yes, how can I do for you? He said, well, that he had been to my place of work and asked about me, and they said I was on leave. And he found out my home address, and that's why he came here to see me on a Sunday, because the chairman of the SCSC, Statutory Corporation Service Commission, said he would like to see me on Monday morning.
Wow.
I said, all right, I'll be there. I got there, waited. He trained cats and dogs anyway that morning. And I waited until about 11, 12. There was no sight of him. And the secretary told me, well, I could go. And when the chairman came, she would let him know that I came. I said, all right. So I went home. I was still on leave. My leave had not expired. And I had a telephone in my house. You know, this telephone you dial and, yeah, that's right. And before I got home, the secretary had phoned. They said the chairman said he was sorry about it, but could I repeat my visit the following morning, which was on Tuesday. So I thanked her, and then the following morning I dressed up and went up to the office of the Statutory Corporation Service Commission along the Marina, not far from the General Post Office. Okay. And when I got there, I greeted him, he answered. He said, sit down, sit down. Yeah, my young man, I had gone to the records.
Just as you suggested.
Just as I suggested. And I'm happy to say that you were right.
Wow.
So thank you, sir. Then he said, well, the interview people at the panel were satisfied with my performance, and we think that we are qualified for the job. And I've been asked to make an offer to you. I said, oh, thank you very much, sir. Then we chatted, and he said, okay, well, this will be a new beginning for this company, and we expect people with the type of experience you have to do your best to bring it up and make it what it's worth. I said, thank you, sir. So I left. Then I said, when will I They said, well, anytime from now you'll get our letter. I said, thank you, sir. So I went away happily, got home, told my wife. I said, well, I'm waiting for their letter. And I still have a copy of that letter signed by Ogbue. It's there in my file.
In your file.
Yeah. Because such things you don't destroy.
Destroy.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
You form part of your life story.
That's amazing.
And when I went up now, I saw the letter signed by Ogbue. You know.
Well, okay, sir. Looking at Nikon of then, the 70s, the 80s, and now, are you happy? What could have been done differently?
Honestly, I would say Nikon was the household name. Everybody knew. And I started as secretary to the corporation in charge of day-to-day administration. Now, I had 2 other colleagues. They're both late now. Mr. Jadu was appointed as the fire manager, and Mr. Adewi as the accident manager. And I, the secretary to the corporation in charge of day-to-day administration. So we started from there at number 90 Awolowo Road, a building of just 2 floors, ground floor, first floor, second floor. And we did what we could to make it. We had no managing director then, even though there was provision for it. So within a few months of our assumption of duty, we got an Englishman coming to be the managing director, Gaston Jones. Gaston Jones was the. So we all still working, and he stayed for about 1.5 years or 2, less than 2, and then left. Then meanwhile, but you see, we made it a point to recruit graduates into the fold, and that plan became quite successful. A number of graduates were recruited and put into a number of departments, and many of them called it a challenge and read for the examination of the CII. Yeah. And before you knew it, we had become known everywhere, because by the very nature of our activities, we were supposed to ensure the properties belonging to government. Yeah. So we had a little of monopoly.
Would you say that monopoly gave Nikon ahead of others?
Well, maybe partly. But the point is, not only government this thing, but also went to the market and captured the insurances of various companies and individuals. So that apart from insuring government property, we had a full share of in the insurances of the private sector. You know, so both of them joined together boosted the activities of Nikon. So we were really doing very well. And when the white man was going, he was succeeded by Bodo Gulana as the managing director. Meanwhile, we had got some promotions. I have got the post of Assistant General Manager, Administration, and still Secretary to the Corporation. Yeah. And Mr. Lijadu was promoted assistant general manager to fire department. I misput it. I can't remember very well now. And Adewi, assistant general manager, accident. And a number of people, like one B.A. Lawson, who was formerly in NEPA, joined the Nikon at that level, manager's level. And also was promoted as assistant general manager as well. I mean, the business was booming, and Nikon became the watchword of every household. And the fame went wild, far and wide, you know. And we were happy to be associated with the successes of the organization. But I remember, I think it was 1972 or 73. It was 73. Of course, the chairman then was, the first chairman was Aliko Mohammed. He was the first chairman. Under him, he himself was a chartered. He's a chartered. I don't know whether he's still. I'm sure he's still alive. From the north, Aliko Mohammed. He was the chairman. Well, part-time chairman anyway, and because he had his job in the north, you know, and we were quite happy. It was a family affair. We were getting on well. Even though with some distractions here and there, but then we got on well. I wouldn't say I didn't. I experienced some challenges anyway, and it couldn't be unexpected. But I had my faith in God, and prayed that God would give me the fortitude, the endurance, and the determination to make a success of that organization.
The decision of government to privatize Nikon was the corporation's Achilles heel. Do you share that view?
No, I don't think they were. I don't know what they had in mind. They must have had in mind something, but it has turned out to be a failure. Nikon should have been left to carry on. For instance, we had investments here and there. And of course, we remember something like a Nile Merchant Bank.
Yeah.
I was on the board of Nile for about 11 years, representing Nikon Investments. I mean, you know, and was also a board member of one or two other investments that Nikon had. And we got on well, and maybe they would have left Nikon the way it was, and whatever you get belongs to government, you know. But the change of ownership has spelled real doom on the organization. Because, okay, look at, I mean, each time I passed there when I used to, I looked at the building. We put up that building. And today, it's a building standing. I don't know whether there's anybody, or if anybody's occupying it at all. It's a pity that Nikon has to end up the way it did. To me, I would have said Nikon should have been left to continue running the way it was running. And everybody would have been happy for it. Yes.
Okay, sir, can you tell us a little bit, because a lot of people tend to forget that Nikon was actually the precursor of the, well, today is now Transcorp Hilton Hotel, but it was a Nikon hotel at the time.
Of course it was, that's right. Nikon, and for instance, Goan was an investment expert. he came and went into some agreement for us to put up a hotel in Abuja. And it was then finally decided that it would be called Nikon Noga Hilton.
Yes.
Noga being Goan.
Okay.
Change the position, Nikon, Goan, but he didn't want to spell out the whole thing, so Noga. That was how it came about. It was built. I was actually one of the directors of Nikon Noga Hilton from the time they started the building until completed, and it was a beautiful day, the day we opened it in Abuja many, many years ago. It was a beauty to behold. So we went on and on and on until I don't know what gave rise to the man being regarded as a persona non grata to Nigeria.
Yeah.
He was kicked out of the country. Well, this is political something, nothing to do with us anyway. But then we continued at Nikon Noga Hilton until new investors came in to buy up the shares, to what it is now.
Well, does it sadden you, sir, to think that something like a subsidiary that grew out of the Nikon insurance is still standing today, waxing strong?
Yeah, exactly.
And the brainchild behind it, so to speak, is there isn't much.
It is sad. It's a sad experience. Because that's why I said Nikon should have been left to continue with its insurance activities. Because here is a brainchild of Nikon, waxing strong, and they are doing very, very well. And but where is parent company? It's gone down the drains. It's a shame that people who took that decision to sell Nikon to whoever they wanted, they did sell it to, did what they did. It wasn't the best interest of the organization.
Okay, would you also say that the privatization or the sale of Nikon at that time was in any way beneficial to the Nigerian economy?
How could it be? How can it be beneficial? Where is it now? If it were to be beneficial, Nikon will still be around. Because it went into a wrong hand. I've forgotten the name of the buyer who, Ibrahim. We didn't know him from Adam. He was never an insurance man, as far as I know. But then, it was so...
Nigeria happened.
Yes. So, it's a pity. I feel very unhappy about it. What could we do? We unless we are to quote a Bola, let Bola again. See, we say, don't look. May the soul rest in peace.
Amen. Yeah. Okay, sir, Ogbue, what is your personal assessment of the current state of the Nigerian insurance industry?
Well, I wouldn't say much because I've been completely detached from insurance activities when I retired in 1988. It's a long time now. Yeah. And well, I had a friend who was my commissioner of insurance by name Chief Ogbue, Eugene Ogbue. When he was in service too, anyway. We used to discuss insurance activities from time to time. Not long after he retired too. So I had no means of assessing the performance or the activities of insurance companies. But I believe they are doing well after all. But I wish that Nikon were there to compete with them. Yeah. And they maintain the name.
That's our time on the program this week. Many thanks for being a part of it. Join us again, same time, same station next week when we begin the showcase of our International Women's Day celebration. Until then, please feel free to connect with us on all our social media platforms. Visit our YouTube channel, Almond Finance TV. There are tons of educative content for you to see. Do well to subscribe. I am Susan Obiako. Until next time, be good. Bye-bye.